I would like to believe that our society has already moved beyond what this book says is the current conditioning. There is no question to me that we have made progress in our general cultural consciousness. There may be some people who feel that we have moved on. I often find these to be the people who have made it financially or professionally in the system. Yet again and again, as I travel around the country, I find that this book is still crucial. I read the news stories which tell of the religious, legal, political, and social backlash against the progress that sexual minorities have made. I speak to high school and university students around the country who, when hearing these ideas, rather than responding that this no longer is their experience, tell stories of how this is still hopelessly so true. I stand in a metro station in downtown Washington, D.C. and hear the same slurs against fags that I hear everywhere else. And so I move in to stand close to those who are using them, so they know someone is listening who might object. I hear the fear of clergy who know this is right and discrimination is wrong, but might lose their pulpits and congregations if they push the issue. I speak to parents of gay men, lesbians, transgendered and bisexual people and hear their pain as they come to accept, value, and work to end discrimination they and their children are still experiencing. I sit in the debates of churches who want to be affirming and yet worry that we might become a gay church, indicating that gay is still a negative thing for them. I listen to gay people as they argue with each other over leadership, tactics, money, sex, gender issues, strategies, and how to and whether or not to assimilate, and I see it deplete their energy. And I see members of the gay community still acting out a victim role and living in shame over the fact that they are sexual beings who love their same sex, even translating that shame into political strategies which hide same-sex sexuality. On top of all this, even after decades of the second wave of a woman's movement which has taught us much, and a shorter men's movement in which men were trying to break out of conditioned gender patterns, I still see a nation obsessed with maintaining gender roles and continuing to promote a national foreign policy based on conditioned ideas of male honor and shame. I see woman leaders who have often tried to make it in this straight, masculine-defined society continuing to be misrepresented in mainstream media and others frustrated and burned out over a sense of being bogged down. I see men's groups struggling to know why they exist and where to go next. I see therapists who are still trying to help people cope with a system that is profit-oriented and coping-oriented, not human-oriented or healing-oriented. We still have quite a way to go to crack the hold of a dysfunctional masculinity on the world and the corresponding feminine gender role, which is still one telling women that the answer to their problems is to respond to male conditioning. I am convinced that issues of gender roles, what is masculinity, what is femininity, go hand in hand with the acceptance of people who do not identify as heterosexual. And I am convinced that these issues are deeper and more destructive to our humanity than many of us have imagined. These are not just theoretical questions or surface issues easily educated away, but deeply inculcated elements of the way we are accustomed to see things. Hence the two subtitles of this book. We will not be in touch with what it is to be human as long as we cannot accept, affirm, and value transgendered and bisexual people and lesbians and gay men. Many people and experiences have influenced me in writing this book. Actually, the readings at the end of the chapter were discovered subsequent to the ideas here, but they are listed to encourage further study and personal growth, and to allow me to affirm something of the breadth of the community in which I write and work. I have also read many of the conservative responses to these writings and found that those I recommend stand up against the critics who don't want to change the structure of things. Those who have attended my workshops have added so much to my understanding. What is exciting is that they have come with such a variety of backgrounds. I remember an early workshop for the Methodist parishes in extreme northern Kansas, held in the small town of Bern, which is up near the Kansas-Nebraska border. Those 30 people who committed a half day to this work were the first to teach me that all over the country, in places which seem to be the middle of nowhere to city folk, there are people, yes, even religious people, who know that something is wrong with the current dominant rhetoric of anti-gay religious and political extremists.